Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy.
That's the first thing that got recorded.
So, did Cerulean's room turn back on? It's all glowy again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think I overlayered it. Oops. It's gonna get some getting used to because I am moving separate layers. Technically, yes, it did get all glowy again due to the ritual that you just saw, but that, I'm just gonna change it. You can ask her about why the room got all glowy, but at this point, it would have reverted back to a more pixelated state.
Yeah. I don't think that part of the image is ever unpixelated for me.
Yeah. Okay. To recap what has happened so far, or at least what had happened in your adventures so far. As you entered into the city for one reason or another, or perhaps you were born here, raised here, many of you were not, and some of you were just simple strangers walking through. You encountered an organization simply known as the Foundation. With their help, you have encountered a few things and new ties to what has happened in the past for yourselves, or perhaps just inquiring on your own informational tastes. For a few of you, it relates to your own backstories, and for others, it's just simply a curiosity and hidden secrets and gems. You've encountered strange statues, strange basilisk creatures like things that turn people into, let's just say, living statues, which is not that great. I'm not gonna lie. You managed to encounter strange entity beings, people from different worlds, and people with different dialects. You're not exactly sure who they were, but eventually you did discover that they were part of a strange organization known as the Chaos Insurgency. With a few bits and pieces and clues, you managed to find and extract people from that said organization and turn them toward your direction. They do have information for you if you want to go to the office, but that is entirely up to you. In the meantime, while you were, let's say, digging a hole straight into another plot hook, you managed to, for some of you, get a little stronger, get a little emotionally stronger, and for others, just wind up in the woods somewhere, walking around, and maybe making some pacts with greater entities that you may not really understand completely. But I digress.
Annoying their god.
A few of you managed to get hitched, few of you meaning one PC and one NPC. And others acquired great information here in this strange little isle that apparently sells very powerful weapons, but not without contracts. You've then been informed about information leading to, well, the capital of your little kingdom here. As it stands, you decided to prep and get ready. Some of you headed to lost destinations, others of you into a hole you remembered seeing a few weeks ago, really, at this point. Actually, really months. It's been quite some time since you started this little, I would call it a group, but really it's more of a, let's see what we can do to try to stop or mitigate these problems. Others of you decided to go speak with your mother, and others decided to go shopping for a bit. Cerulean in her own, well, I would say her own base, but really the how do we know the name? Really, the group's now base is working with her own system of. Well, at this point, Ray, you can tell that she has her own separate system of magic. Well, not completely separate, as we will go to Marthos and figure out why her gifts are so wide.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you need to remind him which tunnel you went down.
Shut up. Get into it.
He rolled a d10 and got a 3.
And I have it wrote down in my notes. Oh.
Marthos, remembering after the whole inquisitional thing about the capital and this man named Giovanni that has been apparently coming after Zen and has formerly employed Cerulean, you decided to jump into a hole. Luckily enough, with your impressive eyesight, you managed to not die, falling into a very very far tunnel, managed to find the ladder and decided to go into a separate direction than you were used to. You entered into what appeared to be a cylindrical room filled with 8 different tunnels. You chose one at random, and entertainer was 3. Okay.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to change the tone of the music. I think this would be the most fitting, but I don't know how loud this will be. I'm gonna put it low just in case. Entering into the system of tunnels. Yeah, this actually would be appropriate. I'll explain why in a bit. Morthos, go ahead and roll for me an intelligence saving throw. No, sorry, entertainment. Charisma.
A charisma saving throw.
Yes.
Let's see how how bad I do. That's bad. First roll of the night, and it's not 1.
Okay, so you don't get any bonuses, but something's about to happen that you cannot explain. After entering into the tunnel system, you see rune-scribed sigils inscribed on the walls, and you continue to move forwards. As you move forwards, the emanating light that you saw from these symbols begin to light even faster. And for some strange reason, it feels as if you're moving into a flow of, well, in most parts, it would feel like a mana flow of magic surrounding you and engulfing you. But to you, it feels like the best way I can describe it, because you went into the entertainment tunnel, is you went into a mosh pit and you're just circulating in the opposite direction of this mosh pit. Strange entertainers in the area, people with glow sticks, people with what appears to be a guitar, just bum rushing through you that you almost get. Oh wait, you rolled a natural 1. That you get run over. You don't sustain any damage, but the force of this magic, this strange magic, just pushes you out of the tunnel and you get flung back straight into the circular room.
Okay. That was odd.
That's a natural 1. I don't make the rules. I just enforce them.
You made the world. Yeah. You made these rolls.
You are God.
Okay, you can try it again, but as of now, you have no idea what that was or if it's extremely dangerous. But it didn't look like it.
I mean, I could try the same tunnel or try a different one.
You can always try a different one, but if you do try a different one, I'm just going to move on to a different person.
I'm going to try it one more time. And hope I don't roll in that one, because if I do, I'm done for the night.
Okay, where was the techno one? Here, lo-fi epic. Techno madness.
You heard the word fight. You're gonna die.
You entered this strange room once again, and as you entered into the hallway, this strange wave hit you once more. Charisma save once more.
That's better.
That's better. And it might get you something. Let me look at my chart. Okay. You then feel the sensation of a bombardment. The best way I can describe it to you, you've met Trip and his band. You've heard his music. The cascading way he rhythmically hit you with his instruments, it begins to pulsate within your body and you feel like you're about to get flung out again. But you keep yourself strong. You've dealt with this type of annoyance before. Mainly because to you, Trip's band was kind of annoying. Also to Ray. But you hold yourself fast, you hold yourself strong, and you stay within this strange vortex pool of entertainment energy. It passes completely through you, and then you get hit with a strange mark on your. You can decide which area, but it would be on your right bicep or your left bicep.
Okay. Just put it on the right one.
The strange wave of energy just washes over you, and then you feel a sensation burning into your flesh, not painfully, but more like a sunburn burning into your flesh, and you look down to your bicep. You then see what appears to be a musical note embedded into your flesh. I'm just going to say, can you take the time, because that's probably what you would do. Morthos, you now have access to one cantrip off of the that bard spell list, and you have, if you don't have it, a check. I'm just gonna check it for you in performance.
Yeah, that puts it at 8. That works.
Yes, it means nothing to you based off of how you built your class, but it helps.
Right. I mean, never know. It could come up.
Unfortunately, though, the symbol on it, or at least on you, does kind of, like, as messed up as it sounds, it does seem to resemble a tribal tattoo. And with your complexion, it doesn't look great.
Very, very noticeable.
Yes. Any entertainer that would probably notice it might think you're one of them. It would be a great way to maybe infiltrate that type of scene, or get yourself even more noticed.
Not something Morthos is trying to do.
Yeah.
Yay! We've got marks.
Alright. I will add that to my sheet.
Mm-hmm. You could probably ask Cerulean later on if you want, like, what happened to you, or what exactly is going to happen to you. But something definitely happened to you. There's no denying that. But we will move over to... Well, we will move over to the nice little cafe that Zold's mother found. And knowing those two, it's probably a bar.
Hey, Lamau. My mother gets crunk. What can I say?
I don't think it's that bad.
Well, you could probably start by not enabling her.
Who do you think I learned from?
Sadly, that's true.
I learned it by watching you.
And drinking with her.
It was an interesting childhood.
How early?
Zold can decide when he accidentally got into the bottle, but she didn't force it upon him, if that's what you're asking.
He's been a drunk all his life.
But she would have allowed him to drink at least at age 15, but would not have told him to. As you enter into the little offside little brand cafe bar, you meet your mother in the corner. For some reason, Amber's still there. You don't exactly know why, but she's still there.
Maybe we should check on her.
But looking at you, Annabelle simply states, Zold, well, no, it's quite early. I thought you would spend some time with your wife and friends.
I wanted to, but it's been a long time, so I figured we'd best catch up, at least while time permits.
I suppose that's true. It is roughly noon-ish. No, wait. It is roughly 3 p.m.-ish. with everything that's going on. Because I think you guys got no, that was yesterday. You got married, and then the interrogation. So around 1 to 2-ish. But she then states, "That's fair enough. So then, how's things? How have everything's been? Other than the whole congratulations, by the way."
Thank you. It's good to hear from you. I'm glad you could make it.
It's a shame I didn't get here earlier, though. A few things could have been avoided.
A number of things could have been avoided, but it's in the past. Someone else managed to make it to the wedding as well.
Oh? She does raise an eyebrow.
Yes, Tatiana.
Huh. I see. You can tell she's clearly not dismissive of this, but not surprised by this. Just surprised that you saw her or noticed her. Am I to assume she was invited?
She was. Though I suspect that she had deeper reasonings behind my invitation and to come. With your slip of the tongue earlier.
Well, not much slip of the tongue, just memory lost to you as you were so young. If you'd like to know, you're old enough to understand what had happened that day. If you would not like to know, perfectly acceptable.
I fear that I might be dealing with her more in the future, so information is good.
Right. Well, on the hunt some time ago, roughly around when you were 8 or 10, honestly, those years have been kind of a blur. At that point in time was roughly when she was training you earlier on. So she probably had to deal with a lot. And I needed to make sure you could handle yourself. Oh, one poor decision later, I managed to find a way into the Feywild. You accompany along with me. This way you can gain as much experience as possible without needing to, how should I say, live out a life full of turmoil. Unfortunately, though, you got lost one day and, well, you began to try to find everyone to try to get back. I'm not exactly sure where you were trying to get back to. That still remained a mystery to me. If I had to guess, based on the time, probably back to your original mother. But, not really knowing what you were doing, you ate some of their food, allowed yourself some of their hospitality, which bound you to them. It took some convincing from my part and Tatiana herself, but we were able to come to an arrangement. As you were so young and not really aware of what was going on around you, I offered her instead some of my services after a certain amount of time. Enough time that you would be able to take care of yourself. In doing so, I was able to get you back onto the mortal plane, and you simply forgot what had happened in the other side. It happens easily enough to many people that first enter into that area. And based on what you have stated, you've been there beforehand, which begs the question on who brought you in and who brought you out.
You don't think it was Tatiana herself, then?
The first go around, it was simply you communing with the animals, and you somehow bonded with a few of them. This interested her in one fashion or another, and she invited you to stay a while in her domicile. Unfortunately for the Fae, that can be forever or a year, and sometimes that could be the exact same thing. But in the second case, I don't believe it was her doing, as she would not have broken the pact so easily. only you would have been allowed to go back on it. Or perhaps if you encountered one of her agents, that could have been a loophole.
Let's see. Is there anything else you may have forgotten to, or I might have forgot that you think would be impotent to tell me now?
You did lose a few years in that training session. The only thing I can think of at this moment in time is that you do in fact have an adopted sister somewhere out there. Brother, I as well lost some information on me.
Do you remember their name?
Unfortunately, the only thing I can remember is the mask that they bore, or wore. Not exactly a brother, but a brother in arms that I had to train in order to help the predicament at hand. Not truthfully your brother, but you should still be wary of the man, just to be safe. She then shows you a picture of him. She just slides it over.
I don't recognize him, do I?
You do not. Anyone you have currently encountered has yet to appear with this type of mask or the strange eye depiction. I trained him in firearms, but they were quite adept with magical properties, unfortunately. They seem skilled, rather fast to pick up things, but over some time they grew distant and simply wandered off into the woods. Which was fine. It was easy enough to handle them, but there's someone out there with similar trained skill sets as you, with the added bonus of magic.
I'm alright. I'm alright at magic myself now these days.
She laughs, not like laughing at you, but laughs that can clearly show, yeah, I can clearly tell I've missed a few things.
That's not a whole lot, but I make do.
Based on how you've managed to protect your friends, even from a simulacrum that was only half of my potency, you certainly have.
Is there anything you wanted to talk about? I feel like I'm prying now.
How exactly did you meet your companions? And specifically, your wife? You can clearly tell this is more like along the lines of a mother asking you, so how'd you meet your friends? How'd you find this girl that you liked? But in not so blatant ways.
We started off as work companions, but clearly we've gotten to know each other better than that. That goes for a lot of them.
She raises an eyebrow. When can I expect grandchildren? She then simply puts the eyebrow back down and states, very good. It seems that you have acquired potent friends as well as a very interesting partner. I would say keep advised of her secrets, but I believe you've already stumbled upon some of them.
Perhaps more than she would have liked me to, but it is what it is.
Often enough husbands do that. Never been married, of course, but I'm sure they do that at one point or another. Tell me now, how much do you know about her? Or would you rather not say, and I tell you how much I know about her?
Her family was hunted by the church when she was young. She has a few siblings left, some in the capital. She has an interesting way with magic.
Well, then I suppose I should tell you a little bit more than that, seeing as you still have the habit of not. I'll put it bluntly, researching things before you go and plunge in. The woman that you've encountered, I believe you called her Civilian, is not her actual name. However, that's neither important here or there. After all, you must use an alias whenever you're working. Her family herself
Sometimes.
her former family did belong to a very high, I should phrase them as sorceress, but that is not the proper word. They were able to bind and meld with magical properties beyond most mortals. In fact, various politicians had tried to coerce their family to work under them. However, that did not prove useful or effective. So they were their own legitimate faction outside of everything else, and were used as advisors. But as people wanted to gain more power, they weren't exactly going to allow this third party to intervene in any way. So they sent out and killed these entities. However, the spellcasters were quite sharp in everything that they did and managed to shoot out roughly 3 individuals into the world without anyone knowing. I'm assuming this is one of them based on the emblem mark she has on herself. And I'm assuming you know about that based on the emblem mark that you now carry.
I know that much, yes.
Right. Well, then you must know that she is in fact what one would describe, and this is not common knowledge, so if you do seek it out, I suggest you. She sighs, knowing you probably won't, but you'll probably get someone else to do it. Do some research and read up a few books. She, in what our field is known as a broken sorcerer. Don't exactly know everything about them, but from what I can tell you is that they are able to tap beyond what normal individuals are able to tap into. They don't have a lineage of magic, of some strange hierarchy like some of the sorcerers do with their bloodlines. They are completely all their own, and that is likely why they were killed out. Full right. It's not as if I condone that action, but I can see why people were afraid of them.
I see.
That being said, now that you know this, I'm assuming that this does not change your mind, which is good. So you must now show her how much you're willing to sacrifice. Because knowing her backstory, she has likely sacrificed everything to get to this point. And I'm assuming based on how she knows Giovanni, at one point perhaps even her soul.
It's a little bit to take in at the moment. I wasn't expecting this right now.
One never truly is. But that being aside, she is... I am not going to lie, you do have good taste. She is adorable as a button. Personally, I find more her to your taste rather than the other one. I'm assuming her friend, the strange tanned elf.
Yes, that would be a Zen. She's a noble's daughter.
I've never known any of the high elves to have a tan. Some of the wood elves have that skin complexion, but never so, unique.
She's mostly drow, as I understand it, actually.
I see. You can tell that she's completely baffled by this, because this is not supposed to be able to happen genetically on a fundamental level. But she then states, if this is true, then I suggest you keep an eye out her as well.
Don't think that'll be an issue. Cerulean's not exactly the jealous type.
That's not what I mean, dear.
I know.
I can never tell with you sometimes.
I gotta have my fun where I can.
She rolls her eyes, and she's not hiding it, she's rolling her eyes. Right. Well, on a fundamental level, drows and elves are not supposed to, and frankly not able to, commingle. So she herself is a oddity in of itself. More or less a miracle or an abomination, depending on who sees her. So if you are intending to go to the capital, as well, first off, I thought it was simply to acquire some fair maiden for a ritual sacrifice, but now it doesn't seem to be that way. Maybe. I do suggest you keep and make sure that Zen doesn't form any contracts, give some type of sample away, or anything that could deliberately tie her to some type of scrying ability.
Of course, I'll have someone keep an eye on her.
Frankly, dear, I also suggest you giving her an alias to go by. In fact, your entire team could use one.
I'll give it some thought. Definitely couldn't hurt.
Right, now then, it's been about enough time. She then begins to move the table in a strange manner. You've seen this trick before, but you've never seen it to this amount. Since you do have a bit of time here, she then slaps both hands together on the table, and the coasters that were on the table immediately flip over, revealing 5 mugs of beer on each side. How about a little drinking contest with your old mother?
Mother, I'm no child. I don't mean to insult you, but I'd surely drink you under this table.
Well, we'll soon see now, won't we?
Alright, but I warned you.
If you insist that you're better, I would say age before beauty, but quite honestly, neither of us are either.
I get by. Better than you ever did, apparently.
She raised an eyebrow, because this is true. But also, she's not exactly a spring chicken anymore. She's not old by any definition, but she's not exactly young. She is human, though. So, midlife? About midlife. Okay, I want you to go ahead and roll 5 consecutive Constitution saving throws. The higher the numbers, the one that gets the most... Oh, I should probably give her her con save. The higher... Whoever has higher numbers wins. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Of course I would lose in this circumstance. 15, 9, 22, 17, 15, 7, 11, 24, 7, 14. I'm going to count that 20 as flattening out that... I'll make one of those 7 and it's a 10, and I still lose by 1 number. So, you begin to drink a little bit, and then you realize that your mother has begun to slur her words. By no definition, these are weak drinks. They haven't been watered down. In fact, from what you can tell, they're the in-world definition of a very strong shot of whiskey put into a beer mug, and then you decided to drink it all. Yeah, basically moonshine. You're both still up, but unfortunately, due to the slurring in her words, she has lost. I'm not going to try to slur it because I feel like I'm going to do something stupid. She then states, well, you, definitely taking after me. I don't know if that's a good thing.
Again, I get by.
Ray, what are you doing right now?
Gonna ask Cerulean about the ritual she did for Zen in her weapon.
Okay. Just to not have it look so gross, I'm going to switch over to the other map. Just know that it's not currently triggered. Entering into the room once more after realizing that you don't want to go shopping with Zen. Q would have told you probably. Time it took them roughly 2 hours to just pick shoes, and ultimately Zen picked them out. Cerulean looks towards you after she begins to refine her own spells, looking things up in a book. Looks towards you. Is there something you need, Ray?
Yes, I was wondering what you have going on here and what it was you did for Zen just now.
Huh. Alright, suppose you haven't been here. Well, this here is my... Maybe Rusty would know how to describe this better. Ray, have you ever tried to use a focus for any of your spells?
Well, she uses a wand.
That's not what I mean. I mean, have you ever tried to bind any of your spells into an item and focus and hone in to cast it out? Similar to a wand, but doesn't have to be a wand. Some wizards use skulls, others use books. People use wands, that's perfectly fine and common.
No, I haven't.
Huh. Alright, I'm just gonna use the terminology that I've been told and learned from. This is the conduit room that envelops and develops and circulates specific types of magical properties. I am able to extract said properties and then bind them into certain things. That being said, if someone presents this area with their own things, I am also able to adapt them into said properties and bind a new code into them. For Zen herself specifically, she had acquired something different that I had decided to bind to her. No one else is able to use said weapon, but she isn't able to, like Morthos, put it into a pocket dimension. It just simply works for her. Anyone else will get the cessation of a burning metal spell without actually having to wear any metal. The longer they hold it, the more substantial the pain gets.
Interesting. So, what kind of limits does this have?
Are you specifically speaking about the room or the spell incantation?
The room.
Specifically the room has limits, but I have yet to find them. The only thing that I am unable to acquire from this room is things I am not aware of. I suppose that's would be its limits. If I don't know what to look for, what to see, or what to observe, I won't be able to pick it out from the waves. I suppose that's a little hard to explain. She turns on the book and then goes, alright, since one of you already knows about the next room and it's not exactly as if it's off limits, just no one's gone there, let me show you what I mean. And she just goes into the next area. At this point in time, Ray, you can see a massive pool of mana. Just completely and physically in a actual pool. The pool itself does seem to have separate subsections of the area, and they're all seeming to be waving into a continuous globe of energy just sustained above this pool. This is a better way to represent what I'm speaking of. You see that pool of magic right there?
Ray nods and waits for Cerulean to continue.
Well, if I'm aware of what someone can do or some property that I can distinctly pick out, take for example, if I didn't have the spell known as Mage Hand and someone else did, I'm simply able to, with the book, first I need a conduit, object, or a focus. I use the blind. She then picks out and shows you a simple white wand. I use the blank wand you sometimes, well, I suppose you haven't seen it, I use to bind my spells into. I then locate said property and begin to rip it apart from the pool. However, this does not come from nothing. So somewhere out there, someone or something has lost said property, and it gets bound into my wand. Think of this as a pool of magic surrounding the entire scope of magic itself, and then I extract small droplets of water from them.
So how well do you have to know the properties to be able to extract them?
I would need to know what the spell does and the name of the spell. By either observing it or discovering it through research. But I'm gonna be honest, most of the time it's just first-hand experience out fighting people.
So you could, for example, look through my spell book and then be able to extract any of the spells I know, and any of the spells written in there from the magic over there.
Correct. If I'm able to focus specifically, and if I need this spell immediately, I'm able to rip it completely from your own repertoire. But if I don't need it immediately, it'll just take time, but I am able to take it from the pool itself, and then someone randomly loses said spell. Do you remember when we both learned Tensor's Disc a while ago?
Yes?
Well, when she was teaching it to us, I was extracting it from her skill set. You learned it, of course, but I took it.
I can't say that I'm a fan of that method.
You don't have to be. In fact, many people aren't.
Does this only work for spells as such, or does it also work on the properties of enchanted items?
It's quite possible it works on anything magical, but I I didn't get to learn as much as I would have preferred.
So anything magical.
Potentially,
you-
but I don't know how to do items.
So could you perhaps, I'm not suggesting do it, but could this potentially be used to take the magical properties of someone?
I suppose if I'm able to understand someone completely, perhaps observe their skill sets and see what spells that they have, potentially, yes, it would be possible. But I, at one point or another, lost my teacher in my training.
Well, I mean something more fundamental than skills, like the magic resistance of gnomes or the long life of elves.
Oh, something like that. Yes, it's. I thought I was explaining it earlier. You can clearly tell Cerulean is not used to speaking with people. As you obviously already know. But the way she was describing it is the way she was interpreting it. But potentially she could be able. She could, at one point or another, if she learns how to control it, if the pool itself is able to do this, extract abilities from other people. As you mentioned before, the longevity of elves, dark vision, hellish rebuke, those things. But she doesn't know how to do that, and she doesn't know if the pool is able to do that. She just knows that the pool is tied to magical properties of everything.
How is it this place has been kept secret?
It hasn't. At one point, it was used as a stronghold for, I should say, a criminal organization. But that would mean and imply that it's still around. I was able to find this point. Unfortunately, I did lose the last one I had. And took care of the people that were here before. Thankfully enough, their strong base was a well-kept secret, so I didn't have to worry about anyone finding it again.
Well, just the potential power here, and I imagine any number of organizations would love to get their hands on it.
Potentially, yes. However, it wasn't. This ley line wasn't exactly active until I came here and activated it. For all intents and purposes, anyone that was really here before me had some of their abilities enhanced and were more or less coerced to protect the site. I mean, I've told you enough that you would understand. My own family lineage is able to pick up these things, and, well, people didn't care for them. So, long story short, I became orphaned. To a certain extent, I'm looking for few people out there, and have to be at a certain point self-trained and trying to see what else my bloodline could do, as well as how people work. Fortunately, teamwork is not exactly my forte, and as you've noticed, haven't really been picking up spells that have been useful. The only thing that actually has been working for a while is my spell blade, and that has only gotten 3 out of 5 hits. Probably should. But she continues. So, I'm gonna figure something out, a few things here and there, and probably pick out spells specifically for the next oncoming storm.
Well, if you ever need any help researching or experimenting, I'd be more than happy to assist you. This is all quite fascinating and unlike anything I've ever seen before.
Right. I should probably warn you before you do something stupid. This entire area is a focal point funnel system of magic surrounding the area, as I've mentioned beforehand. Underneath here are magical tunnel systems. Each one has a separate class-like feature that can either extremely harm you or benefit you. Some of them are great, some of them are wondrous, and some of them you just have to be plain lucky. I suggest not digging too deep unless you want to tempt your luck. I did skew it a bit so you won't die from the environment, but that doesn't mean it won't demoralize you.
Do you know what is where?
Honestly, I haven't looked. I just noticed that there's a few holes here and there, pointing to a few holes here and there. So if you decide to go down and explore yourself, I'm not going to stop you, but just gonna warn you. I'm gonna use the pool. I don't really need to go down there and physically feel the waves.
Interesting. Yeah, and I'm surprised this is, well, you have this place all to yourself.
People don't come looking for me. I make sure of that. People that somehow wind up getting too close, I turn them around in one way or another.
Understandable.
But I've allowed you all to enter in here as you are part of my team, and Zen seems to trust you. Well, mainly the second part, if I'm going to be perfectly honest. No offense to you, Ray. You all do seem nice, but I'm not exactly a people person. So I have allowed the traps that would have hit you all to not hit you.
Thank you for that.
Sen would have been upset if it happened.
I think all of us would have been.
I suppose that's true. She contemplates this, not really understanding it. But if you want to go and explore around, I'm not going to stop you. But don't say I didn't warn someone. Q, what are you doing? Hello?
Okay, there you go. Mike was not wanting to work. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Alright. If I remember correctly, I'm just now finished talking. I waited, and then you said I felt the presence of a Fae, because I would be in the woods at this point.
Right. Sorry. I saw your token there, but remember that I didn't put you in GM layer.
It's a good thing you said something when you did, because I was on the verge of passing out.
Sorry.
Nothing against you, because it's been a rough week and I haven't slept much, and I apologize.
No, I get that, but everyone decided to split up, so I was trying to split the time difference, but you just wound up being the last one.
It's fine. But, I would, after offering that, and then seeing the thing, meld into my finger, I would ask, because then I would know who it is that I'm contracted to. I would, because then I formed a pact with them. So how does this work? Is what I would ask them.
Well, I'm gonna have to change the tone of music for this one. I suppose confrontation would work. Sort of. As you begin to ask some questions that would actually be needed to be answered, something that someone that doesn't understand what exactly is going on needs to know. You hear in a booming feminine voice that it's oh so chilling to the touch. You've encountered this somewhat once before, but it's not this strong. Definitely not this strong. And almost in the similar fashion that you first encountered Cerulean when she was extremely not a people person, but then that changed. You just hear the same, but higher enhanced drawl. I've encountered a simpleton. Great.
Simpleton my ass, bitch.
Huh. No manners either.
No, I have manners, but I only offer them to people who earn the respect to get them. Now, I know who you are. I understand your position, but that doesn't mean you can talk down to me like that.
You may think that. You may even believe that, and potentially that is quite true. At least for yourself. And you are now part of my own court. More or less.
That is perfectly
so that
fine.
I'll be protecting you from my wrath. That's not to say the people around you are so lucky.
As long as you hold up your end of the bargain, like I said, you can do with me with whatever you want.
Oh, I'll hold up the end of my bargain. My word is law. I always collect. That being said, I suppose I'll enlighten you on what you can do. She gives you the properties of what a warlock can do, and then she states, but you can also ask 3 things of me. 3 simple questions, or 1 favor that I will take care of. And tell you what, because you seem so powerful, I'll even include those things together. So if you ask me questions, it won't count against your favor. But you might not like the response you'll get.
I don't really care as long as you're there when I need you.
I'll be there. I'll be there to answer 3 questions, and then do 1 favor and solve it for you. Obviously, I won't go there myself. It would change the environment too much. But I'll send agents out there to lend a helping hand.
I understand. I had a friend, I guess you could call him a friend, said something along the lines of something like that would happen.
I'm sure they did.
But as long as you hold your end of the deal, I won't break mine.
There you go again. If you hold up the end of your deal, if you hold up the head, I am a fey creature. As long as you know how to word things properly, you won't have to worry about me.
Exactly. And yeah, same goes.
I'm sure you believe that, darling. I'm sure you truly do. You then get a chill up your spine, not as if she's trying to kill you, but as if you're feeling her energy, her elemental force seep into you.
Well, now I didn't know you were into that kind of thing, that touchy feeling thing.
Believe me, if I didn't need to, I wouldn't. But I also need to see through your eyes and ears. After all, I can't exactly give you good intelligence if you don't have it yourself. Meaning, like for game connotation, she's doing this specifically to, if you ask her questions, she'll give you the information that you could have at one point or another based on how you see things, touch things, view things, hear things.
Gotcha. Well, one of these days I might pay you a visit.
Oh, I do hope you come visit your mother, dear. I'm sure I'll have tea and cookies waiting.
My mother's in the capital. You're a stepping stone.
Oh, is that what you think? And she says nothing more.
I'll just water the plant a little bit, make it comfortable, and look at it like sternly, like
As you begin
giving
to
off the. Okay, go ahead.
As you begin to look at it sternly, you do feel, after you watered it, the water that's been dripping from the plants begins to almost turn into ice as you basically give this plant a death stare.
Basically, the stare. So I'm a watching you stare, but everything's fine as long as you hold up your end of the deal, and then I'll start making my way back to town, messing with a few of the abilities she gave me along the way.
All right. In addition to what has just happened, you are also able to use the spell Prestidigitation, which would explain the whole frost situation.
Oh, okay.
You can also do this not thematically. Story-wise, you can mess with water here and there. If someone's drinking a cup of Joe, you can turn it to ice before they can actually drink the thing. Just no like tsunami of ice, no giant pillar of ice forming in the lake next to you, and then you shoot it at someone.
Mm-hmm.
But you can basically use the precipitation spell with ice theme.
Gotcha.
You don't actually have to cast a spell, it's an innate feature.
No, I added it so that I would know that I had it.
No, I get it, I'm just telling you. To be specific, you're not saying the words, doing the motion.
Oh, okay, cool. So basically, it's a subtle spell like sorcerers get. I can just enact the spell with just thinking it.
Correct.
Got it. All right, that's cool. I'll be playing with that along the way, leaving a trail of frozen footsteps as I walk.
You'd be a terrible spy.
I'm not trying to spy right now.
Still would be a terrible spy. In the distance, you did see the man that was there beforehand. I'm just gonna put him in the token layer now. He's not next to you. He wasn't actually watching you do all this stuff. He's just a few 100 yards away, not actually looking at you. You have a passive perception of crazy, so I'm just gonna tell you. He seems to be collecting plant foliage, sediment deposits.
I'm actually gonna walk up to him and ask him to teach me about different plants and their uses while he's out here. If he doesn't mind.
Oh, I suppose I have time. You see here, he then begins to explain how plants work, grow, develop, what type of soil and nutrients they have. It's not enough for you to gain anything from it, other than the fact that he does tell you how. Go ahead and roll nature.
All right, hold on one second. Nature. There it is. 4.
He does show you a few poisonous plants here and there. and then you completely forget the information. You can
Yeah.
tell that some of the plants in the area are poisonous, like poison ivy and stuff like that, but you don't really gain anything valuable.
That's fine. That's fine. As this is going along, occasionally I'm just gonna start playing tricks on him. By every so often, one of the plants he points out freezes over.
He gets upset by this, and then he begins to scientifically document what exactly is going on and try to see if the sediment in the area somehow is
I'm basically
messed.
fucking with him. Like it's occasionally it's that it's just like the ground occasionally will, when he's showing me some of the sediment and stuff, it'll occasionally will freeze over.
Yeah, yeah, he's just upset. There's like no way to go around that. And he's just visibly upset.
Is that normal?
No, in fact, that's quite rare. I'm not sure exactly what's going on. Perhaps some type of magical virus. It has been going around, but not like this. Usually they just
really?
decay. He's just talking at this point, but you do say, "Oh, really?" and he does explain it without you actually having to say that. Normally plants just decay away, but not like this. It's usually having to do with some necrotic ability. Necrotic. Whatever that is. Necrotic ability. I'm not exactly sure what's doing that. Some type of poisonous gas, but icicle formage is something new.
I just had a good idea. I'm going to make icicles form in his hair.
He just gets a chill down his spine from the now cold hair. Looks around. Oh, I think I better go. I might be contracting something out here.
Here. Let me fix that. I have a ability to do that, and I'm gonna fake cast, make the present dissertation look, and I'm gonna fake cast greater lesser restoration to cure him of it, but quote unquote make it look like I'm drawing upon divine and stuff.
Roll deception.
All right. Deception. 10.
He's not stupid, but he might not roll well enough. I'm gonna give him this deception mainly because he wouldn't distrust you.
Oh, hey.
Still a 20. So right now, he doesn't still distrust you. He just thinks that you're being nice and trying to comfort him, trying to pretend, give him a placebo effect.
Gotcha.
No, it's quite all right. I do actually need to file these reports in anyways. If you'll excuse me.
His reports freeze over.
He begins to shake the things. He puts them into what appears to be a satchel of deerskin. That should at least temper them for a bit. He then excuses himself politely, not as if one noble to another, just a guy with manners. If you'll excuse me, and then begins to head back to town.
Before he gets out of the 10-foot, as he's walking away, he's got water in his boots because I formed ice and they melted.
I like how you harass one of the nicest NPCs.
I'm having fun with my new abilities.
That's totally fair.
And then I'll just proceed to walk back to town.
All right. I need to do something for like 2 minutes, so I'll be right back. I'm gonna put you in Cerulean's home.
All right, I'm gonna go get me something to drink while you're doing that.
Okay, I'm back and I'm unmuted everything.
I just gotta make sure you guys don't find out about it. Morthos and Zold would probably be the first ones to figure it out if I started using certain spells, though.
Potentially. I'm just gonna say this: does everyone meet back on the surface of Cerulean's house, or does Ray? I know you were going somewhere specific. I just don't remember where.
Yeah, I was gonna go to see if I could pick up that spell, but I don't have enough money, so probably won't.
And Morthos hasn't reappeared. The money man.
I mean, they're still in a hole. I think one of you saw that they went into a hole.
Ray.
Well, I suppose I'll head over to the hole and look inside.
No, okay. I'm just gonna say everyone makes it back, unless Morthos decides to go to the graveyard, as one would do.
Not yet.
Okay. So Q, as you make it back to the home base, Zold had a nice little drinking contest with his mom. Family bonding. Ray managed to commune with what exactly Cerulean's all about. Still not a people person, and would have probably killed you without thinking for a second thought if someone she knows didn't like you. And Q, well, Q has her own secrets. Morthos, you're currently in a tunnel system. Do you come back, or do you try to go through another tunnel?
Might look down one more, just to see.
Okay, unfortunately, you're no longer unsynced to anything. So I want you to go ahead and roll a con save as soon as you try to enter any of the tunnel systems. It's not saying you can, it just now has become a lot harder. Not bad. You do, which tunnel do you go through? You already know 3 is entertainment.
So how many tunnels are there?
8 total.
If it rolls a 3, I'm gonna re-roll it. 5.
You enter into the 5th tunnel system and you immediately get pushed back, similar to how magnets, exact polars, push each other backwards, but you force yourself through. You feel that your current predicament allowed this type of strange push-pull effect. But you manage to pull through, and you do begin to feel the same strange... 5... Okay. The strange sensation similar to the entertainer one, but it's completely different.
It's similar but different.
Yes, like a slap is similar to a kick. Let's see.
Depending on if you get kicked by steel-toed boots.
Escape would be appropriate. Morthos, go ahead and roll for me a dex saving throw.
A what?
Dex saving throw.
Okay, I thought you said death. I'm like, what?
That's what I heard.
That's what I
Right?
heard too.
It depends
the-
if you get hit by this.
When
Immediately,
the DM's not fucking around.
immediately you see what appear to be strange entities in hooded robes, garbs, kind of like Zol, but a lot more, I want to say ninja-y, more rogue-like. And they seem to be running towards your direction and then shooting out daggers straight at you.
Ninja.
I'm not good at dex.
You get bombarded with these strange metaphysical daggers, get pierced through, and then get flung out of the tunnel system. Thankfully enough, that you don't know this, Cerulean was able to baby-proof this area for you specifically. Whatever that was, it resembled spy espionage work.
Ninja.
That was fun.
You would probably, and I'm just gonna tell you this flat out, right? Something was able to help you not die. If those theoretical attacks did not do any damage, you know you would have taken a substantial amount of damage. Maybe not enough to kill you, but it still hurt.
Okay, that was interesting.
You do hear people on the roof. I suppose it would be on the roof for you. That doesn't mean you have to go up, but you do hear people coming back.
You can hear us all the way down there?
Oh yeah, 400 feet. It echoes. You don't
Yeah.
hear specifically what's above you. You just hear some things. Not enough to actually understand what they are. I mean, I guess you can roll insight, but it all depends on how much you care.
I'm gonna cast light on a piece of stone up here and drop it in to see how deep this hole is.
The bowl next to you?
Yeah.
You drop it in and immediately it clinks after 3 inches?
No, he said the hole.
Oh,
Oh! I said the bowl and she said yes. Ray goes into the tunnel system. Well, goes next to the tunnel system. It goes 3 feet in and then immediately disappears into magical darkness. If you can see it through magical darkness, you would be able to see it go. And Morthos, go ahead and roll a dex saving throw. That's high enough. Unfortunately, Ray, you lost track of the rock after 3 feet, unless you have some way to see through magical darkness. My recommendation is Devil's
Nope.
Sight or True Sight. But Morthos, you then look around you after getting knocked back on your butt. Look up, because that's often and not what you do after getting hit by a truck, and then see a rock almost hit you in the face, so you immediately roll to the side and it just clinks on the ground.
I'm gonna pick up said rock and chuck it right back up from where it came.
You're gonna have to roll athletics. 400 feet is tough, even with an 18 with strength. Gravity is also a problem.
Did I hear it hit the ground?
You did not.
Okay, so this hole doesn't have a bottom.
Morthos is gone.
Morthos is dead. At let's see, 16. You don't go all the way up to the top, tippity top, but you do go, and this is an incredible throw. 180 feet. Ray, was your passive 16?
Yep.
You do hear far away a clink. It could be the very end of the tunnel system, or maybe another rock fell in and hits something. Marthos, then you almost get hit by the same rock you threw up in the air.
I like how we're just throwing rocks back and forth here.
I mean, at least I'm not knocking these big stones in.
So Key's gonna walk up to Zold and say, "How was the talk with the mother?"
Informative.
Cool.
You can smell alcohol in his breath.
He's now gonna his nose is gonna have little tiny icicles falling out, drifting out every so often.
I suppose Zold wouldn't notice this, but I think he would be probably a little bit too drunk to care. If anything, it'd be soothing. But Ray completely abandons Morthos and goes onto the other side. Maybe not completely abandons, but probably doesn't want to press their luck.
So, have either of you seen Zen?
She went. Oh shit. She went shopping. Yeah, I'm gonna go look for Zed.
You know, when it comes to shopping, thinking back on the dress buying, that takes like 5 hours minimum.
I'm still gonna go find her.
She's actually just shopping. It's perfectly fine. 30 minutes later, you drag her back here. Well, not forcibly, but you just bring her back.
What? No, I wanted to do something.
Oh, okay. Copy. Oops. Copy. Let's see here. Did I archive the shop? No, I didn't. Oh, oops. It's the other token.
Old token.
Do you still have control over that one?
Yeah.
Nah, never mind. Stop moving it. Delete. Paste. Tiny.
I small.
How did I copy you but not Zen? That's weird.
Don't know.
I put you next to each other for that exact reason.
For a reason.
As you enter the shop, you do see that I just hit copy, which means I just copied you. As you enter the shop, you do see Zen invisibly there. She is picking up a few items here and there, talking with the merchant that seems to be preoccupied with what appears to be a small marble set. You're not exactly sure what it is specifically, but it does have a strange glow of magical properties to it. Zen turns around towards you, looks, smiles, and then continues to shop. Oh, sorry, am I taking too long?
No, you're good.
Okay. She then continues to shop and browse around, looks towards the merchant. So, how much do these daggers cost? Oh, each dagger costs roughly 50 gold each. If you want something magical, you would have to go to Ironworks, I'm afraid. I don't do enchantment properties. Oh, that's fine, I just need them for something. She then goes and collects rope. What appears to be iron marbles?
Shit's about to go down.
Or she's prepping for something specific.
Like I said, shit's about to go down.
She then actually goes over to where the hats are and begins to pick out a hat. This continues for about 10 minutes. While that's going on, do you do anything?
I'm just gonna lean against the wall, right next to the door, in a relaxed state, just smiling and watching her shop.
She gets absorbed in the whole shopping. Well, if she had a class other than what her class is, which you don't exactly know, based on how Cerulean works, she could have rewritten her class altogether. But, she seems at home here. This might be one of the few pastimes she's allowed to enjoy herself with. But soon enough, she picks a top hat with a nice feather, gets rid of the feather, realizes she hasn't paid for it, puts it back on the table, checks to see if the merchant has noticed her. She has not, puts it back down on the table, and then goes, "Alright, just these things, if you will, miss." Certainly. Let's see here. 5 spools of rope, a nice bag of holding, what appears to be 10 daggers, 5 bags of iron marbles. Do you mind? Well, I suppose I'm prying. I'd rather not ask. Probably better that way. Right, let's see here. A grappling hook, what appears to be 5 scarves, a new outfit, 3 new outfits. She then continues to go through the system. And these thieves' tools? Well, you never know. I might get locked out of my house. Very true, very true. That rounds it up to a total of 2,000 gold, miss. Right. She then hands her what appears to be a platinum bar with the similar indents that you saw Morthos give to Cyrillin and said husband, but just 2,000. Here. I did not expect you to give me a bar, but I suppose I should go to the bank now that I have plenty of change. Sorry, I wasn't exactly... I'm not prepped for... Okay, bye! Not going to explain herself. Looks towards you. Oh, looks towards shop owner. Maybe a little bit more? Well, looks towards the bar. Just make sure you have an exact change. I don't exactly... Sighs. Zen turns towards you. Q, did you, need something in the shop? If you
No,
need something, I could probably buy it for you.
no, I'm good. I came to find you.
I'm sorry. I didn't, she
No,
turns
it's
to-
not because of that. It's not because of that.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to let you know, if it's all right with you, I would like to accompany you when you go to see your family in the capital.
Oh, I mean, you've met my mom and dad and my stepbrothers and sisters, right?
Mm-hmm.
You still want to go?
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd be delighted for you to come, but my family, the ones you've met can be problematic, and the ones that are in the capital are the main branch, and
If I remember
they're
correctly,
worse.
you said they had some Fey connections, correct?
She nods. Well, specifically the High Elves come from the Feywild. I believe, from what my mother's told me, that her brother came from that destination. I believe they called him I want to say a Ladrin, but I don't really remember. I only visited them from time to time and tried not to be near them the entire time. I always got funny looks around them, like they were checking to see how I was, but not really caring on how I was. If that makes sense.
I'm gonna say a small sentence. This is out of character. I'm gonna say a small sentence in Sylvan and see if she understands what I say, and I'm gonna basically ask if she can understand me in Sylvan.
She looks towards you and simply states, I'm sorry, I don't really know what you said. I know the main branch speaks that language. They often do that whenever Mom and her side visits them, more than likely to talk behind their backs without having to leave the room.
I could help with that. I mean, if you want, but that's not reason why I want to go. I just want to be. Go ahead.
Oh, she was gonna. Go ahead. It might change things.
I just want to be there to support you.
It does not change things. She laughs, not at you, but she simply states, I'd be happy to have you and... Oh, unfortunate... No. I'm going to give you a chance. Go ahead and roll... Charisma.
Charisma what?
Charisma.
Check or say?
Just charisma.
18.
Not bad. Alright. She gives a slight chuckle and then simply states, I'd be happy to have you along.
Alright. And then out from behind my back, I'll reach behind, like I'm reaching underneath the cloak. And I'll bring out a, prestidigitation, a small, little, a flower that looks like the one she's got in her hair of ice and hand it to her.
You hand it her, and
I know it's gonna melt quick.
it's going to
but
melt. But she's ecstatic. She's not exactly sure how you did that. But at this moment in time, you rolled well enough, so I'm not gonna make you roll again. She does seem to be smiling. Other than the whole dealing with her family, and I mean dealing with her family in one way or the other. She's resolved to do what she's going to do. But in this instance, it's a genuine smile from a person that doesn't know if they're gonna have a tomorrow.
And I'm just gonna, I'm gonna say, just remember, whatever happens, you'll make it out of this.
I suppose I have reason enough to, now don't I?
Kind of just smile and awkwardly suggest we head back if she's done shopping.
She nods, and you head back to Cerillion's place. Okay, Morthos, are you out of that hole yet?
I guess.
You don't have to be, but I don't think anyone's gonna come looking for you.
I was gonna try it one more time, but it's like I don't know.
Do it,
Well,
man. It's if you
We
want
might
to
if
do it.
you stay down there any longer.
I am gonna give it one more shot. Why not?
Which tunnel? And go ahead and roll me a strength save.
Strength.
Oh wait, what was the other roll? I think it was
Con.
con. Yeah,
Con.
it
You
was con.
had him roll
I
con.
just rolled. Okay, so con. Should have had me keep the strength.
Don't tell me what to do. What tunnel system?
God says, don't tell me what to do.
2.
Okay, this so it's no longer piano music, or for some reason it still says escape. I guess it would be this one, yeah.
I like piano music.
It's good.
Soothing.
You go to the near immediately opposite. Immediately you feel a bombardment of waves once more. You see the runic symbols around you begin to shine, and then you see, similar enough to the other waves, first the entertainer wave, and then the weird ninja wave, whatever that really was. I'm not going to give you clues. The only time I reluctantly gave you clues is because I needed to make sure. The first tunnel. However, you enter into the system, and then you see what appear to be giant creatures emanating light enough to not visibly see what they are, but their shadowy silhouette can gesture to what they are. Similarly, in beast fashion, you see what appears to be an owl bear, a dire wolf, and strange creatures similar to themselves. They begin to charge at you, and I want you to go ahead and roll, this time, a strength saving throw.
Nope.
No. You then see that these strange creatures go and rush you. The owlbear grabs onto you with its... Well, you think it's going to be its giant mouth and bite into you. But for some reason, the owlbear seems to have a strange mouth guard on it. It bites into you, not enough to hurt you, but it flings you immediately out of the hole.
I feel like I want to get some C4 and blow up this tunnel system. That's me, not Morthos.
Hey, Morthos, your Derek showing.
Alright. I'm gonna probably give up at this point.
Alright, at this point, everyone does manage to gather. Ray is communicating with... wasn't able to hear the rock hit the ground until a strange assortment of time, so it's possible that Morthos somehow got flung into a separate dimension. no pocket. Before Zold can try to sense portal, Morthos does eventually creep into the said ceiling, not ceiling, yeah, ceiling slash roof, and then with Q and Zold's passives can notice him just crawling out of the hole.
Yeah, I'd like to see you try to hide something from us.
Hey, you made it out. What did you
Yeah.
find down there?
Odd tunnels.
Yes, Cerulean did say something about that. About them possessing some kind of powers.
Yeah, I think I may have gained some of that power. I don't know.
Some of you do see what appears to be a strange symbolic symbol. I don't know if any of your classes, except for maybe Ray and Q, would know what a music symbol would be.
I mean, with my background in nobility, I probably have been taught how to play an instrument
Yeah,
over the years.
so you know what the symbol looks like. It just seems to be a single point note, and then a bar indicating a long note, and then the separate systematic symbol indicating that it changes midway.
Gotcha.
It's not really important, but from what you guys can tell, and those not musically inclined can tell that it kind of looks like a tribal tattoo, but a themed one. Like you're super into music, which Morthos has never said anything about.
Didn't know you were into music, Morthos.
I'm into a lot of different things that I don't really talk about.
Uh, Hearing this, Zen then states, "Oh, if you want, you can talk to me about them. I don't know. I probably don't know as much as you about music, but I did learn a few things here and there."
At
Who
any
she
rate,
Who was she talking to?
Morthos.
I mean, I know some a little bit too, so I mean, yeah, if you're interested, I mean, me and Zen probably point out something.
Um, Mind you, I spent several years in a cave with a child goblin, so the music I might like might be something very horrid to you.
Hey, I have an open mind.
Zen's trying to be nice. Q's trying to help, but in the meantime, Zold does speak up and states as Ray goes into the room.
yes. Perhaps we should best be getting prepared for our trip to the capital here soon.
Cerulean then states, right, so there are a few tunnel systems we can go to, or we can magically circle our way there. I don't have the coordinates for them, but I do have the maps to show you. She then brings out what appeared to be the kingdom's map as well as the capital's map. Here is the city. If any of you have been to the capital, Ray, I believe you went to study there at some point.
Yep.
I grew up in the capital.
So you would have you would have access at least to the main entrance circle, and if Ray wants to, can enter into the school's circle. I doubt we would be able to use Q's
No.
family line.
Only bloodlines can use that.
I figured as much, but thought I'd ask.
No, I would like to, but you guys wouldn't be able to come. If anything, I would have to get permission to allow you through.
Zen,
That's
Zen just
in of
looks at you
itself.
and goes, "That's okay. I know how family can be sometimes." Trails
Yeah, you
off.
haven't met. Yeah, your family's great. You should meet my father.
She says
He's a
nothing.
he's a ripe old bastard at that.
She nods, not wanting to disagree. But Zold, you were saying?
At least. Oh, sorry, I didn't know he was trying to say something.
Yes, regardless of how we enter, there should be a number of things we establish. One is that we should have some method of concealing our identities during our stay.
Yeah, that's gonna be a problem.
Oh, I actually already thought of this. She comes over to you guys and hands you what appear to be different outfits, and as well as what appear to be bandanas. With these outfits, you'd be able to blend in a little easier, or stand out. I don't exactly know how you normally dress. I usually go there formally, so I bought what would be, commoner's clothes, is what she described them as.
I technically can't.
Oh, that's okay. But the bandanas themselves, you could maybe wear them as masks or, some headband.
That's fine. I technically can't, as I am a knight there, and I'm probably supposed to report back sooner rather than later.
So I know we have things to do there. Is there any? When do you want to leave?
Zen then states, well, me personally, I can. I'll have to do it eventually, but I don't need to do it right this minute. But I'd honestly rather get it done, and not wait as long. After all, apparently, this Giovanni's after me. And with that, Cerulean then states, we can wait 1, maybe 3 days. I likely doubt they'll be sending someone through the portal, as that'd be too visible, so we'd likely have enough time to wait and stall for that time. That being said, if we do go in through the portal, they'll have less time to prepare for us.
Okay, I was wondering because there was a couple things I wanted to look into before leaving.
Right. About that, Cerulean then states, as I'm sure some of you are aware of, the capital is not exactly in favor of non-human folk. They get along roughly more or less fine with elves and Fey-adjacent beings, as they have plenty of power that they can bestow upon others. But people of the Drow, people of the Tiefling, they get along fine with Aasimar. Merfolk and anyone else that looks different tend to get problems.
Yeah, I can try my best to keep eyes off of Morthos. That they'll never take it off.
I mean, that can work. Cerulean then states, depending on which portal we also go through, we might get inspected and might have to forego some of the money we have in order to make sure we don't cause a scene.
Well, I know the City Square and the Mage College portals. Which of those would you recommend?
The Mage College itself might get scrutinized if we go there, but we likely won't have to forego anything.
Would I know? Would I know with my rank if I'd be able to make them make us not forgo any money?
You would be able to have word and say. That being said, though, these are established rules within the capital. So if you do try to do this, you'd be trying to going up against the established rules and system, which the people that are trying to enforce it might be lower than you, but the rules are placed down on council members and the like that are rank 9 and above. So you'd be going up against them as well. Not immediately, but you might face problems later on. So you could do it. You could probably persuade them to not take your stuff, but eventually
Or go
you
talk to my
yourself would know.
father to get paid.
I mean, you can try, but you're not exactly on the best terms with him.
No, I'm not.
Cerulean does state, though, if we want to get your school involved, we can go to your school, and eventually they will track down that a portal's been opened there and they investigate. But if we don't want any ties to any place, the town square might be the best option. They'll be able to give our equipment back or anything they deem a threat.
That could be almost everything we own.
Yeah.
Well, unless they have a mage that can cast some type of identify, we could place them in certain places, certain bags, or if we're going to take the time, requisition certain items to get them better hidden.
Fuck.
Well, we could see about getting magical disguises.
That would still, it wouldn't disguise our equipment. If they've got somebody that can see it.
Cerulean does state, that's not to say that they do have someone there. She looks towards you. Well, no, Zen would actually state this. That's not to say that they might have someone there. Most of the time, those that do have magical properties are non-humans. And since it's likely going to be some of the night guards that are there, they're probably not gonna have someone there unless they're extremely lucky. So we could just be lucky, or we could just run out of luck. But we could probably put it in a... Oh, that reminds me. She then pulls out her bag of holding that she just bought. We could probably put it inside this. That way, if they do identify something on us, it'd just point out the bag, and I can just say I am storing stuff. It wouldn't be considered a weapon. They might be able to buy it that way if one of us convinces them.
Just tell them that you're a lesser noble and that's where all of your clothing is stored.
How many people will likely be there to inspect us?
Would I know?
Yeah, Q, you would know, and Zen and Cerulean would tell you because Cerulean has, at one point or another, done something similar, and Zen has been there. And Q, you would know. You know that unless something is happening currently in the city or some security force had needed to be deployed in a higher standpoint, roughly maybe 5 guards would be there, 4 to assist whoever's teleporting in from anywhere, and 1 to observe what's going on. If you try to attack anyone, try to set fires, bring in any contraband. So basically 4 guards that would observe you entering inside, and an enforcer. On normal circumstances.
How many people would be performing the inspection, though?
Specifically, probably 1 or 2 people. 1, if there's no magic caster there, or 2, if they somehow get lucky on that day shift and have someone there. But once again, they don't really hire non-humans for the guard.
On a side note, everyone, you know, like this idea of the bag of holding would work. For myself personally, I will still have access to my weapon, as I can place it in a dimensional plane where no one but me has access to it.
You know what?
On another, well, what I was getting at was, would it be possible for us to go through the inspection, use that memory spray on the inspector, and tell him that he inspected us but didn't find anything?
I suppose if we roll high and up, meta, Cerulean then states, I suppose if one of us is quick enough.
Well, that's my regards, isn't it?
Everyone looks as old.
We could do the memory stuff, but there is that chance, like, they're not all going to be at the portal, and we won't be able to get all of them.
Well, Zen then states, they might not all be around the portal, but they'll be close enough, and we only really need to spray with that one individual. And if anyone else asks, we can just say it's a new fragrance, a new perfume. You can clearly tell Zen's not used to lying. Maybe. Or she's just that good.
Do we want to try that, or I could send a message to my father and ask if he'll handle it?
Do you trust him?
No,
Well, things like that usually come with strings attached. So
I've already committed to something in that regard. I have no doubt in my mind he's gonna make me do something that I don't want to do when I get there. Anyways.
Zen just looks at you and then goes, then we probably shouldn't give him any more ammo to work with. I'd rather not. Zen looks towards Yukio. Almost in a playful manner, but also quite concerned for you. I mean, you did say you'd help me out.
I know. It's just one of these days he's gonna get what's coming to him.
Cerulean then states, probably soon. Well, this is the concerning part that I have waited until now to tell you. Giovanni's the Force, yes, that's true. But the information we got from the people that we've talked to, spoken with, and in a sense hired, did make mention that the enemy is potentially in the capital and places of
In the
power.
castle.
Yes. So we'll likely be encountering problems, regardless
And my
of
dad-
our problems.
Yeah, and my dad is consorting. He hasn't taken that step quite yet, but he is on the verge.
Cerulean just looks at you, clearly not aware of this because you told no one. Right.
I'm telling him now.
Yeah, that's fair.
I know I did tell him. A friend of mine said that my father was involved, but hasn't. I told them. I think it was last week when I came back after looking at the flower the first time, or not last week, but the week before, during the preparations when we came back. Yeah.
Okay. Then she wouldn't tell you that. She would then look towards you and go, well, there's that too. But if I had to guess, one of the 3 people in the image we found a while ago would likely be there. At least one. So we'll have to watch out for them as well.
What about the chances of our blue-faced friend from the mountains being there?
Probably slim. In fact, I'm not exactly sure who you're talking about, Marthos.
the one that was creating the ice elementals, corrupting them.
Oh. I almost forgot about him. You can clearly tell Cerulean basically forgets about anyone that she doesn't consider useful.
I've never met him because I was rusty at that time.
Yeah, but Cerulean then states, he might be there, but we have gotten a lot stronger. That afterwards, Cerulean tells Q what exactly happened. Backstory, blah, 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 and you're caught up. At least with that part. She doesn't say anything else, because it's not relevant. If it is someone that's there, then it's probably one of their acting agents, so we'll just have to watch for them, too. So, disguises... yeah, Zold and Zen had the correct idea on not being seen.
Well,
Zen then states, Cerulean then looks, yes. Oh, the bandanas are also... Well, Ray, do you want to identify him?
It'll take a few minutes, as I don't have the spell prepared.
Small talk later and 10 minutes later, rounding down, because I like even numbers. You clearly identify the bandana is currently active. It is a hat of disguise. They all are.
oh, well, fine. And then we can do this forget me stuff.
Yeah. Zen mainly didn't speak up because she's, first off, soft-spoken, and second of all, everyone else was coming up with ideas and didn't want to intrude.
I look over at after I assume Ray tells us.
Yeah.
I look over at Zen, smile, and tell her and say, "You impress me even more as every day goes by."
These must have cost you a fair bit.
A few 100 gold, but they were fine.
Well,
I honestly didn't think that the shop owner knew what they were.
I'm gonna do a sleight of hand check.
To steal them all.
No, to pull another flower that matches hers out of behind my cloak, and hopefully no one notices how it happens.
Roll sleight of hand. Everyone else, you wouldn't be looking for it, so you'll have to beat anyone's passives.
I don't beat anybody's passives.
Yeah, I think
You beat
everyone's.
Morthos's, don't you?
No, I have a 14. Thank you very much, Ray. You dick.
Unfortunately, everyone did see what you were doing. They didn't exactly see you cast anything. They just noticed that at one point or another.
Well, I mean, they're not gonna see me cast anything because it just appears.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's through my head.
Just appeared randomly out of nowhere. Who knows how they did this? Zold, Ray, Morthos, Cerulean, and you don't even beat Zens at this time. I'm not gonna give you this one. Freely, at least. None of them saw you cast any spell, but at one instance you now have a not frozen, not frozen, a not melting flower in your hands now.
And I'll just hand it to Zen.
Oh, she looks. Yeah, she would not have known that the flower melted. She would then take it. Oh, thanks. I'll just put it with the... Looks in her bag where she stored it and realizes it's now wet. Oh, do these melt?
Yes, it's just ice.
Oh, well, it's fine. There wasn't really anything important in there. Just a whole bunch of rope and daggers.
And then all the
reused.
water just evaporates.
Yeah, that's fine. Oh, Okay. She then puts it in her hair because where else is she gonna put it? She doesn't want to toss it or get rid of it. She does like it. She just has no place to store it. So she just puts it in her hair, and it'll wash through. None of you have ever seen Q use this type of magic before, but that's really all the hints you get. You could look into it further, but honestly, it just means that Q is able to cast a spell without casting a spell. That might be useful, but it doesn't seem to be that strong of a spell.
Neat trick.
Yeah, I picked it up.
Cerulean looks towards Ray and then looks towards you. Right, just don't let me try to steal it. You're not sure if this is a joke, but Ray, you think Cerulean's trying to joke?
I don't think you can.
I don't know why you want to. I mean, it's pretty, but doesn't look very useful.
Ray, I think she was joking.
You see no emotional change. Zold, you can tell that, well, because you're basically have the same type of features. So you can tell when someone's sad, mad, or glad. She seems not sad, but disappointed that they didn't understand what she was trying to say. Ray at 13 just shows you her face.
Zold gives her a reassuring pat, and softly in her ear, do you mind if we talk later?
I have time, and it doesn't seem, looks around as everyone's making separate plans, that we're completely focused yet.
Oh, I'll be back. I gotta run to the
Before
foundation.
you go, Morthos, I need money again.
Get a job.
You got one.
I have
It
one.
pay
It
that
doesn't
much.
pay very well.
Martha,
And you
know
think
this
I
is
have
true.
money?
You always have money. I didn't ask that much from you.
I gave all of my money to Zold and Cerulean, though, when I gave them that bar.
Morthos. Okay. You can roll insight if you want to, but Zen's gonna immediately believe you that you're telling the truth. Cerulean really doesn't care. I don't know if Q or Zold would.
I'm about to insight. Just give me a second.
Q, you can tell that Morthos is lying. Maybe they have plans for it themselves. Ray,
I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah, Ray, you can't tell one way or the other. You're close, but at this point in time, you saw that he gave away a lot of money, so that's entirely possible.
Okay, well, I don't need that much. I only need about 370 gold.
As you say this, because Zen actually came prepared, well, for specific things, mainly bribery. Oh, comes towards you. If you need money, I can lend you some. I'm sorry, I don't have anything lower than 500 bars, though. She hands you a gold bar of 500 gold value.
That will be more than enough. Thank you, Zen.
You saw her. You saw the pouch she came out of, and it has 8 more bars, similar.
Uh-oh. Ray's gonna move in on Zen next.
Fuck off.
Yay, I got the reaction I wanted. But, I gotta run to the foundation office. I kind of left Peep in their hands, and I would like to get him back.
And I need to go see Sarah. So, if anyone's looking for me, I'll either be there or at Star's place.
Alright.
I say we just meet back here and get ready to leave.
What time is it?
Tomorrow?
It's roughly around 5 p.m. at this point.
So yeah, it'd probably be best to leave the next day.
In the morning.
Let's leave no later than noon.
I
Ray's
say,
gonna take one of the scarves.
She gave one to all of you. So you all
I'm
have
just.
one. She also gave you separate outfits that are completely different than yours, but still fit your styles because she's very good at picking outfits. But unfortunately, she just chose one that she would think would look great on Quincy, but the whole night thing. So she just gave you the magically enchanted scarf. Not scarf. I forgot what it was called.
Hat.
Hat. Hat of disguise
Ray.
is currently disguised.
Do you know the shield spell?
Who's Q asking this?
You.
Ray.
Yes, of course.
Could could you channel it into this armor for me? Like store it?
I'm not sure.
I mean, the armor allows you to anybody to store, like anybody that wears it, to have a spell stored in it for later use. That's what I'm asking.
Oh, the armor allows it, then it shouldn't be a problem.
what spell are we storing?
I was gonna have him store a shield spell.
So I'll cast that into the armor.
All right.
Then I said, I appreciate that. I'll be right back. I'm gonna head to the stars.
All right. I believe just about everyone's heading out. So we'll just go with the people that are still here. Because everyone basically left except for Zen, but she's in the corner. Side note, she is in Rusty's past room.
Why'd you lock her up?
It's not locked. Most of the locks have been broken. I'm not gonna lie.
We're leaving Zen in Rusty's old room with possible explosive items. I feel like she would be more dangerous than Zold.
I mean, she did melt a guy to death.
With
Well,
a
look
spell
what those 2 containers are labeled with in there.
That's why I'm saying I have more concerns of her than I do of Zold.
I digress, though. Zold and Cerulean, you find yourselves nearly absent of everyone, but Zen's not paying attention, so Cerulean then looks towards you. So, you wanted to speak about something?
I did, though I do find it odd. I mentioned wanting to speak with you and everyone clears out.
That is quite a predicament. Maybe they knew?
I sure hope not. I wonder what they're thinking.
They're just completely oblivious of what's going on.
Regardless, I spoke to my mother. I had a bit of an interesting conversation.
I mean, I'm sure you caught up.
We did. It was nice.
Glad to hear it.
Is there anything you want to tell me? Nothing relevant to the current mission, but I suppose I could tell you a bit further on. Well, for one thing, the name Cerulean is my current, I suppose you would call it my MO. It's not exactly my real name, but it's the one that everyone knows me by at this point. It's the one Zen knows me by, so I've stuck with it. And if you must know, I also can steal people's magical abilities and funnel them in different ways. Oh, I had known that one for quite some time.
Right, but I should probably explain it better. Basically, I'm able to rip out magic from the, well, where any magic is. I still haven't been able to do it with items, but never really tried. But Ray gave me some ideas on what I could probably work with. And I believe you already know about my siblings.
I do. Unless there's more that you haven't told me about.
As far as I am aware of, you and Zen are the ones that know the most about me.
Well, I would hope that you wouldn't keep anything from your husband.
Go ahead and roll persuasion.
Karen.
It's not, but I should have changed the name.
Oh, it's the same roll.
12. Okay. She's not trying to keep anything away from you, but you can clearly tell that she's hesitant to tell you. But you rolled well enough, and I didn't give her a modifier because she's not... She feels like you understand her, so she's not trying to keep things away. Just trying to keep herself guarded. But she then states, well, a while ago I wasn't exactly the best person. Not even the best being ever. The reason why Giovanni knows me, the reason why this likely mess is happening is at one point I worked for his motley crew. I worked as, well, a few things, but the main thing was an enforcer within his organization. In order to acquire information for myself and to acquire certain skill sets, not going to lie to you, I did kill many people in this pursuit. Not in the hopes or desire to, wasn't really my intention, but I did need the help at the time. I did need the backing of a greater force than myself. And once I got the bit of spells that I was able to access thanks to the work, the information pool, as well as a few other gifts and tricks that I was able to acquire from the training, I broke apart from them. I'm not exactly the best person, but I'm not trying to hide anything. I just simply think it's behind me.
Glad you felt comfortable enough to tell me that.
Maybe one day my real name as well, but real names present power to the one that holds them.
They also present a bit of safety. If something were to happen to you, I could use that power and try and find you.
That's quite true. But unfortunately, right now might not be the best position to stand on. The main reason why most of my family was killed off is because they were able to turn someone that knew a few of my family members' true names. Luckily enough, some of them were prepared enough to send a few of us out into the world, but they shot blindly and sent us in all different directions. I'm not going to lie, I didn't have a not cozy childhood, but after the events of that night, I didn't exactly have the best reason to be a good person. But I suppose you're... The way she's deflecting, trying to finish her sentence, the way she's trying to act, You can tell that she's trying to say, well, I suppose I trust you enough to the point and extent that I would give you my real name. But you can clearly tell she's scared, not shown by her face, to do that. If you had to wager, she has not even told Zen this, and she's known Zen for who knows how long.
I'll reach out a hand and I'll cup her cheek and I'll lean my head against hers. My name is Old Lux, and I'm married to the most amazing woman in the world.
Ah, damn, that's good. Go ahead and roll persuasion with advantage, even if you're not trying to do persuasion. Oops. Okay. Well, I didn't think this would happen so soon, but she then states to you, I am I'm an entity not from this place. While I am human, yes, I am tethered to a different being. We're the same person, but the best way I can explain it to you is, well, through sight. She does extend her hand as you extended out your own. Do you grasp it?
Of course.
Man, this is sweet, sweet irony. As you enter into the domain of her own self, her being, you begin to see visions implementing into your mind. You see a strange connection, a flashing points here and there of a strange forest, a strange wilderness. You see strange creatures roaming around, looking and presenting themselves around you. You see that the entity that you see through your eyes as you're running through the forest seems to be trying to catch up with these creatures. The person, the being, seems to be gleeful, trying to look towards the direction of these creatures, then presents themselves in front of what appears to be an open clearing. However, it is not so open as once first sighted. As you peer through this person's eyes, you imagine to be Cerulean. You then see a small child in front of them, with creatures of the Feywild surrounding them. You then see this small entity come towards you, and then in the reflection of this small child's eyes, you see Cerulean as a child of not this domain, but the domain of spring in the Feywild. You believe, and in that moment, you see her as something different, something unique. You blink, and then you feel that you sense what she is. She is considered a Seelie, an entity of the Feywild. Something different than what you would expect, and part, or at least has some lineage with the Seelie court. And then you're back to this place. Go ahead and roll insight. From what you can tell, she does not know what exactly happened that day, not exactly what presented herself to this place. The best thing you can interpret from that vision is that her spirit was able to bind with something from this domain, similarly enough to how when something gets possessed by a ghost or a greater entity, similar to a wizard but far more strict in that notion. The best bet you can observe is that Cerulean, in all intents and purposes, is part of the Feywild in human form.
I think I understand. So, are you part of the court then?
The memories of that time are hazy. But no. People that I grew up with were... The family line that I am a part of is able to extract magic from all over, everywhere. Which is why we don't line ourselves with any one faction. We try to help wherever we can. Well, we try to help wherever we could. We didn't exactly share this information with anyone lightly. Not everyone is from the Feywild that presented themselves from my family, but we all shared the bond that extracted from, well, the world around us. In particular for myself, I was bonded with a Seelie fairy from the domain of Spring. We merged at one point or another. She became ill, and in turn, the same process happened to me. And through combining of our beings, through the extraction of the magic between us, we became one entity. Not all the memories are fully there, just afterwards, when we became one.
I think I understand so far. I'm going to try something, and I don't want you to be mad at me.
I can't promise anything.
I mean no harm. I swear it on my heart. And Zold will take a small step back and say, my name is Zold Lux, and I name you the Summer Lady. Does she react in any way?
She does not react in any way that's visible. However, you're not completely off. Unfortunately, you're not exactly sure what she is or who she was bonded with. You could probably figure it out eventually, but she herself is not completely aware of her complete Seelie past.
And Zold will just smile and shake his head. It was just a thought.
You do have some context clues, which I've already provided to you, but that's up to you to figure out. That's just me outside of game. But inside the game, well, it was worth a shot. I mean, the only thing I can think about is, my own symbol. You remember seeing the symbol beforehand, in your own escapades, of what appears to be a bird of paradise.
And I assume you've had that as long as you remember?
Pretty much as soon as my memory started. In the meantime, he also then hears Zen working on something.
I'm a little worried.
She's
Apparently,
never been one to tinker.
Q caught her with buying a large amount of rope and daggers as well, not to mention these disguises.
She's practical, I'll give her that, but I've never been able to tell what Zen's thinking. And I'm often great with people.
Zold laughs.
You, because you know her, can actually tell that she's smiling. That finally someone got her joke. As we move over to Sarah's. I believe she's at Ironworks now. Oops.
Oh.
Thank you,
I
Ray.
gotta step away from the computer real quick, but
Yeah.
I can still listen.
Entering into the fray of where Sarah is, you enter into Ironworks and see Rusty, you wave. You see Steel, you pat him on the head, or don't. Up to you, really. But you go to Sarah. Oh, let me roll something.
Very helpful.
Okay. You can tell that she's happy to see you, maybe?
Yeah, because I give her tons of money.
I mean, that's one option, yes. But her...
Hello, Sarah.
Okay, that's fine. She then goes, oh, didn't even notice you, apparently. Oh, Ray, how are you?
Good. I came to see if you have that scroll I ordered.
Oh, sure. She then brings out a small little gift box and hands it to you. Never done this before. Alright.
And I hope this is acceptable as payment. And I'll hand over the gold bar.
She looks at you once again. You can clearly tell she dazed off for a second there. Oh, she then checks her record books. Oh, right, you didn't pay. Looks at the gold bar. I mean, do you need change? I can get you change.
I don't believe there should be any change. I was told it was worth 500 gold.
It was. Oh, she looks at the spell list again that she sell to you. Oh, right. Puts it in a small purse. Leaves it on the counter. Is there anything else you need?
I'm just gonna check the scroll to make sure it's the right one.
You open the box and you can tell it's the right one. That's the one thing she didn't screw up. She's a merchant after all.
Yep, everything looks to be in order. How are things going over here?
Oh, really great. You can tell she genuinely means that instead of giving the whole, oh great, you're here, yay, Zold thing.
While I'm here, do you happen to know of any skilled enchanters?
Oh, yes, one of the highest enchanters that I can recommend is Gustav.
Oh, excellent. I'll have to speak with him if he's available. Thank you for your assistance.
Roll insight. As you walk away from her, you can clearly tell she's kind of giving you a stink eye. Not as if she hates you, but she's clearly watching you now. But you head over to where Gustav and Rusty are working towards, and Gustav looks towards you. Oh, Lady Ray. Oh, right. Sorry. He wouldn't say lady. Oh, Miss Ray. How are you?
Doing well, just trying to wrap up some business here in town.
I see.
I was told you're a skilled enchanter.
I do dabble in it.
Sarah spoke as if you did more than dabble in it.
You see him. It's kind of hard to tell because he's a dragonborn, but you kind of tell that he's blushing. Well, what do you need?
Well, one thing was just more of a hypothetical, I guess. I was wondering, would it be possible to place the raise dead spell into a diamond for anyone to use it?
Maybe if we can create a cage around the diamond. Other than that, I see no real way of just implementing into a diamond itself. Not unless you're some type of elemental of stone. The first part's completely possible, but I'm afraid I don't know anyone that's an elemental of stone. Or that has come from the land of Earth.
Alright. It was just something I was curious about.
Mm.
Hopefully it's not something that ever comes up.
Well, if you like, we
Second
can
was-
create the cage. Just give us some thought.
I will. The second was regarding this coin I found a while ago. It's got quite the enchantment on it. I was wondering if you could take a look at it and tell me what you think.
You present him the coin, and then he does state, "Ah, I see. Seems interesting." He tells you what it does, and you've already checked that out. He tells you what you've known, and you already checked that out. He then states, "It's a simple process. You could probably replicate it if you'd like." Maybe in some sort of dagger, or looks at you, glasses.
Maybe. I was wondering, I suppose, more if there was a way to improve it.
Oh my, yes. If you like, I can improve it for you. If you do it yourself, it would require time. After all, you need to learn the tricks of the trade, but I could provide for you a book.
I would be interested in learning, though it'd be great if you could do it too.
Right. If you want, I can spend... looks over at Sarah for some reason you do not know. Sometime later, probably not tonight, fixing this up for you, increasing its potency by maybe 2 levels. And then I'll give you the encyclopedia on how to do this on your own.
Excellent. And how much would the service cost?
Let's see here. You're a valued customer, apparently. Looks over towards Sarah. You visit her often enough. So I'll give you a deal. The services of the enhancement plus 2 levels up, would be a simple 200 gold. And the book would be, say, 10 gold? What am I saying? I'm not using it. 5 gold.
Well, unfortunately, it seems the cost of the book isn't the issue. I'm afraid I don't quite have enough money right now.
I suppose I can always work on it, and you eventually can pay for it, or pay it in installments. I'm sure you're fine with it. Good for it.
Yes, if you're willing to do that for me, I'd be more than happy to.
Oh, not a problem. You just have to sign a contract. You can read it if you like, to completely take your time. He does show you it. It's actually not a terrible contract. It just means pay for it, and you're good.
Okay, I'll go ahead and sign it.
You can also tell that he took it out from what appeared to be stricter contracts. He just gave you the easiest and lightest one. After a year's time, if you haven't paid for it completely, 5% increase in cost would develop. Which is super lenient.
And if you don't mind, could I pay for the book now and take it with me?
Oh, certainly.
I'll hand over 10 gold.
He hands you the book, which is about the size of your chest, all the way stretching out to your back. So it's a very thick tome.
Okay, I'll put it in my bag of holding.
It's a good thing you have
Otherwise,
that.
I won't be able to carry it.
Yeah.
Not with 6 strength.
Yeah, it's very diagnostic paperwork, magically infused theory, and the components of magic tech. It will take you some time to do this, but as long as you keep saying, when I have free time, I do this, this, and this, you'll be fine, probably by next level.
Okay. And I gave him the coin already.
Yes, you did.
Oh, I suppose that'll be everything. Thanks again. I'll be back with the money.
Right, you can pick it up tomorrow if you'd like.
You'll have it done that quickly?
I suppose you were correct. I am not really a dabbler.
Well, so long as it doesn't interfere with your other projects, that's fine with me.
It'll only take a few hours. And looks towards his table, but really not looking towards anything specific. My projects can wait.
Well, thank you again for this. I really appreciate it. It's been giving me trouble trying to figure out what to do with that for quite a while now.
Oh, well, if you have any more trouble with anything else, just let me know.
I suppose I should have asked this earlier, but would it be too much trouble to transfer the enchantment to a different item that's less easy to lose? Perhaps a bracelet or something?
If you have an item that you'd like transferred it to, I can do that, but the price would increase depending if I have to procure it.
Yes, of course.
So if you give him an item, he'll chant it into that. Otherwise, depending on what you want, it'd increase the price.
I don't believe I have anything with me at the moment.
Oh, just tell me what you like and I'll infuse it.
Perhaps a simple bracelet, silver.
Seems it's enough, and a simple silver bracelet would probably be an increase of 25 gold.
Okay. And I'll just hand that over now.
No, thank you. Do you head out?
Yep. I'm gonna head out and head for Star's place.
Okay, in the meantime, all the while you do hear some strange commotion, Morthos, as you enter inside. Phil looks towards the group, and Salim then looks towards the giant Peep, and then looks towards Iris. Well, if you want to tell him, go ahead and tell him, but I'm not going to tell him you overfed his thing. I mean, he just kept eating, so I didn't know what was going to happen. Ramon then states, well, you never really know what exactly this thing is. Phil just looks at them, clearly knowing what this thing is, but is fine with them holding on to it. You assume. But Morthos, you then come into this conversation.
What happened?
Iris tries to body block, but clearly can't because she's taller than you, technically. Oh, Morthos, Peep's in the other room. Why don't I get him for you? Why don't you just go into the interrogation room?
Just gonna kind of lean around because I clearly probably saw him pass Celine before she body blocked me. Yeah. I'm really good at lying. I don't think you are. I can clearly see him
She
right
rolled
there.
a 2. Yeah. But don't be mad, but I fed him a few things we had in the office. Phil that's concerned. Oh, nothing from the... At least nothing with a name on it, so your lunch is still fine. But he then got bigger.
Uh, and actually, I am good at lying. Thank you very much, Ray.
I don't really know what happened. Salim, it was Salim's fault. Well, I did give him some cupcakes, but nothing... Not the entire kitchen. Well, he kept being hungry.
What else did you give him?
She gives you a massive list of what appeared to be the entire kitchen assortment outside of stuff that was clearly labeled for other people.
Oh, goodness. How does Pete look?
The
Like,
same.
is he
He's just
exhibiting...
now considered a medium-sized creature. Oh, so his lay on hands has increased by 15.
Okay. Where did I put that under my notes?
He had 25 before, so it should be 40 now.
40. Okay. That's a less. I'm not going to be leaving him with them again, that's for sure.
Iverson states, I mean, if you want, I can try to get him on a diet again. I'm assuming that's why he was small?
Honestly, I'm not sure why he was so small. But if I need him to be kept here with you, please don't ever feed him this much again.
She nods solemnly. Sorry, I've never had a pet. Or, whatever Peep is to you.
Yeah, gonna kind of just look over Pete for a second and then look at Phil. I'm gonna have the most serious look in my eye. Don't ever let her feed Juju if he comes back around.
We have dietary means for him. And he says no other description. But Peep seems happy. He just rolls over towards you.
Well, I came to collect him anyway, and to inform you, we set off for the capital in the morning.
Right. Phil then states, I'm not exactly sure if you've ever been there, seeing as when you came to us, you weren't exactly sociable. But I suppose we should give you a dossier of what exactly any information we have on the capital itself. He then goes towards Ramon, and Ramon then states, oh, right, I think Civ's currently with a friend. Let me go check. Comes over, gets Civ. Marthos. Phil, you wanted the capital's documents? Well, not for me, for Marthos. You didn't make copies, right? Unfortunately. Which means I'm gonna have to make more. She's just saying that she does hand them over to you, Marthos. So now you also have documents that can assist you in the capital if you need them. Just basic rundown information on things that you could find there, so you don't have to ask random strangers, and the best phrase I can say, implement yourselves on something like, I don't know, trying to plan a strange heist or blowing someone up, but you need to find their location first. Who's to say? But Civ's just grumbling about doing more paperwork and making more copies as she goes back into the room.
I'll make sure to let the rest of the group look these over. Do you have any other odd news that may be of interest to us after that might deal with the capital or anything else currently?
We do have feelers out in the area, but it did give you guys 2 weeks off thanks to certain events that led to today. That being said, the documents that you just received do have things that we were looking into in the capital. The main thing, however, is that there was a fluctuation in power there. Some strange thing. We weren't exactly sure what it was, but it seemed to have been fluctuating magical properties there, either diminishing them or increasing them, but never in a similar pattern. We weren't able to covertly figure this out, so we didn't press it forward unless it needed to be pressed.
I don't think Morthos really understands Cerulean's abilities yet, so...
Not really. In fact,
Alright.
Cerulean doesn't.
Well, like I said, we are headed there in the morning. Raishiana's actually going to teleport us in, and we're hoping to deal with the whole situation, which is actually more than one. Just get it all dealt with now.
Well, if you want, I can send in to your team one of the agents we have there.
That would probably be best, especially if they have, more information firsthand.
He nods and then states, I'll tell him to meet you around the... I suppose more than likely you'll be entering, if you're teleporting there, through the main gate entrance or the town square entrance. He's already in town, so I suppose the town square entrance would be the most beneficial.
Yes, we're kind of just looking at people. We're trying to come up with solutions on how to get through this. I guess looking at our persons from the guards. And I'm not sure how to deal with this one.
Do you try to pick him up or, give him a tight squeeze anyway?
I will try to pick Keith up.
You pick him up, and it's actually quite easy to carry him. When you, lightly squeeze him, you can tell he's, like cotton candy going, condensing.
Alright, so, well, that might help out in the long run. But yeah, for sure, if you can have your informant, meet us, but probably, I would say, have them wait to meet us until after we've dealt with the inspection by the guards or whatever they do.
Right. Well, I might add, as if you take a look inside the documents you were just provided, inside you do see what appears to be a red card with a devil's mask on it. That paperwork should allow you to move about without... Well, you'll still feel persecution, but no legal actions would be able to be taken against you.
What do you mean?
They don't particularly favor anyone that doesn't resemble humans. And based on how you enter inside, they might see you as a tiefling. So I'd rather you not get in trouble by any means.
If it comes down to it, we'll use the card, but one of our members recently procured some magical items that allow us to disguise ourselves. So we're hoping with a little luck on our side, that there's no wizard there to discern that.
He
So
nods
I'm
and then
hoping.
simply states, "Very good. The card's mainly there so you can actually shop in the area and procure information, perhaps through some type of network system, instead of them just simply waving their hand at you to leave the site."
Alright, I'll make sure to add that separately.
Okay. Do you?
Okay.
I was about to say before we switch over to Q and probably end the session for today. Do you continue to try to squeeze people?
Yeah, I'm gonna see how small he can get.
He gets about the same size as he once was, but now he's heavily densed. From what you can tell, he can easily be hit again. But if you had a strength score of 14 or less, you would not be able to carry him.
Yay for being the strong one.
Yeah. However, once you release him, he will become a medium-sized creature once more.
Yeah, so I'll let him stay medium sized for now, and then bid farewell to everyone, and probably head back towards Cerulean's so we can discuss this new development.
That is fair. Q, where are you?
Star.
That's what I thought. Ray's heading there too, so I'm just gonna say you're both there, but Q gets there first. Let's see, the church quarters. There we go. Ignore if you're already there. I didn't think you'd still be in town. So I didn't clean up this map. You enter inside into the area where Star usually is. The door says it's closed, but you can clearly hear Star inside.
I'm gonna knock.
It's open.
Walk in.
Oh, you know this is a shop. You can enter inside without knocking.
It said closed.
Oh, I guess I forgot to change that. You can clearly tell she did not notice because of how little
Right.
people come here.
2 questions.
Yes?
First, this armor I'm wearing, it has the ability to store a spell into it. I was wondering, I was wondering if there's a way you can make it permanently stay and let me use it, but not have to keep having my friend put the spell into it.
That would require an enchanter and a spellcaster.
Right.
I can modify the spell, but I am not an enchanter.
Right. And then I'm gonna, as I'm asking this next question, a ice flower is gonna appear in my hand, and I'm gonna say, do you know anything about this?
It seems to be a property distributed by a greater entity than yourself.
Yeah, she's kind of sounded snobby.
That would make sense, depending on who they are.
Can you keep a secret?
Probably.
Probably.
Well, I haven't told many.
Yeah, I kind of had a conversation with Queen Mab.
Of the Winter Court, yes.
Yeah. I'm going to remove my gauntlet that has the mark on my hand.
I see. Well, it seems you're in a predicament.
The ends justify the means.
Maybe not in this case, but I'm sure you had your reasons.
I need to know that she can't renege on the deal.
Oh, she can't. Often than not, Fey creatures, entities, and specifically those that are high in power do not do what is asked of them. That being said, you have to word things properly or else they can easily outmaneuver you, if you will. But they will not do the thing you ask them. That is a given.
Just word it properly.
Correct. At this point, you can hear someone's footsteps. You can't tell it's Ray, even with your
I'll cover up
crazy.
the mark as I hear someone approaching.
Yeah. Star hasn't noticed. She doesn't really hear foot track that often. But Ray eventually... Ray, you see the sign because you didn't flip it over. The sign says it's closed. But you hear people talking inside.
I'll knock.
Oh, right. I forgot to flip it. It's open.
I'll open the door and go in.
I should really flip the sign. Is there something... Oh, is there something you need?
Yes, I was wondering if you had any. Well, if I could get some advice from you.
Depends if you want a private consultation looks at you or you don't care.
I don't care if she hears.
Alright.
I was wondering if there was. Well, if you had any ideas about how I could somehow increase my spellcasting capacity.
As in how many spells you can store or how many you can cast?
Store, I suppose. How many I can have prepared.
There are a few tricks of the trade you can do, but most of them would imply learning from one that can do so themselves already. I would suggest going to a acclaimed school. I believe I know drugs. One in the capital. It is rather pricey. Another alternative that could be detrimental to your body would be an assortment of concoctions. I'm not going to put it lightly, drugs that you could ingest, but it would likely cause systematic damage to your nervous system.
Yes, I happen to have need of that, so I'll have to pass.
Another one would simply be acquiring skills and attributes from a greater being stronger than yourself. Perhaps something from the Shadowfell, something attuned to the weave of magic itself. I would suggest a great power, perhaps the Summer Court, or something akin to a good deity. Perhaps the Sun God Pelor.
I suppose that's one avenue I could pursue.
The only other alternative I can give you is for me to do a I don't know if you trust me enough, but would be a systematic engravement process upon you. It has a 50-50 chance of you dying, unless I have someone that knows how to do the exact same thing. Or something relatively similar.
And what does this process entail?
It entails infusing and messing with your own magical properties, and re-scripting them, if you will.
I might know of someone.
Alright.
Should I come back with them to see if they have the necessary skills to be able to help with that?
Well, I'd rather not have you pay for something I can't do and then find out later on I can't do it.
Well, I mean, bring them here first and then find out if they'd be able to help
Oh, yes.
before actually going down that path.
Yes.
Okay, that's everything. So I guess I'll go see if I can find her and hopefully be back.
Right. Q, do you say anything in the meantime?
Nope.
Okay. Blah, 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 blah. A few moments later, you do find Cerulean. You theoretically drag her here. Theoretically. Blah, 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 blah. And you are back. She wasn't that hard to find. She was at her house.
I mean, it involves getting more magic, so I feel like Ray would rush.
Yeah. You come back, and then Cerulean looks at the door. Doesn't care, flips it over. It's the middle of the day. If she's not open, she's a bad business. Looks at her owner.
Well, she is, but
Looks towards Cerulean. That's fair to say, but thanks for flipping a sign. I mean, someone had to. Looks at Q. You clearly had a customer. She shrugs. Looks towards you, Ray. Is this the individual?
yes, it is.
I'll pay her and then leave.
All right, you just pay her 5 gold. Cerulean then looks towards Star, and then Star gives her the rundown, and then Cerulean then states, "Huh, that's curious. May I ask, or may I threaten to ask how you have similar properties?" Let's just say I've trained in a few exotic places. I'm sure you have. Cerulean rolls a natural 1, but she got a 5. So she's not trusting of her because it's Cerulean, but she's not gonna press it. It's not really a concern right now. They begin to try to warp a spell between each other, and then Star then states towards you, Ray, this seems to be doable, but it still has an 80% chance of working and a 20% chance of failing. The 20% chance just means that you'll likely take 20% of your health, and any riveting process would increase that to 40%, then 80%, and then your entire pool if it doesn't work. And the worst part of this is you would have no say in how things go, as we would be the ones doing this. Although we wouldn't try it again without your consent.
Okay. Well, let's give it a shot then. What do you need me to do?
Just stand there and try to look pretty, 'cause it will hurt and it'll make your face very gross to look at. It won't stay that way, but it is gonna hurt.
Alright, I suppose I'm ready as I'll ever be.
Okay. Oh, I'm not gonna show you their modifiers, but I am gonna show you their rolls. Immediately, you get a burning sensation throughout your temples as Cerulean grabs onto them. Star then grabs onto your hands, and you feel a burning sensation wrapping through them. Your body, and she was correct, your face begins to contort and feels pain, physical and emotional pain. It burns, and it really does hurt. You do sustain 20 points of damage, but you can tell that they are engraving something into you. You now have barely one new spell slot and one new spell.
So could I get the specifics on that?
The specifics are you are able to cast, in addition to the things you are able to cast, one additional level 3 or below spell. In addition, you now have an added level 3 spell slot. Luckily enough, you chose Cerulean to help you, and Star is able to help amplify Cerulean's skills. So basically, you gained a new spell, level 3 or below, and you gain a level 3 spell slot.
Okay.
Star then states to you, "We can try this again, but your body needs time to relax and reset. I mean, honestly, we just barely managed to do this much, and it hurt, I'm assuming?"
Yes, quite a bit. I have had worse, but it was by no means pleasant.
Oh no, if we tried to engrave any more now, it would really hurt.
Maybe if I was old, I'd be up for it, but
Oh, didn't know he could cast spells. I thought he was mainly a shoot first, ask questions if the guy survives.
he's a bit of both.
Mainly the second one.
And exploding.
Cerulean nods. Looking towards you, Ray, she then states, "So, are you good to go?"
Yes, I think that'll be it for now. How much do I owe you?
Your friend helped, so I'll round it down to 25 gold.
Okay. Here's the gold. And I'll hand over 25 gold.
You hand it over 25 gold, and she takes it.
And is there anything I can do for you, Cerulean? As thanks?
No, it's fine. Quite honestly, you guys done enough. And it feels weird asking for anything else. But she does look towards Star, and keep your door open. It was open, it just didn't have the sign.
How long should I rest before coming back to try this again?
Just take a long rest, and your body should readjust.
Okay. Could I come back tomorrow morning then?
I suppose. If you're that inclined, but I can only do this 3 times.
Yes, we're getting ready to go out on, well, and get ourselves into trouble, so the more power I have at my disposal, the better.
Well, to be specific, I can do this 3 times to one person individually. So if you want to have your friends come along with you, I could probably do it to them as well.
Okay. I'm sure some of them would be interested in being able to cast more magic.
Right. She goes around you and makes sure that her sign now says open. Right. Thanks for coming to the shop.
Take care. And I'll rush to catch up with Cerulean.
Alright. You rush to catch up to Cerulean. In the back of your sight, you do see some strange wind in the distance. You turn around and you hear something specifically slap on the door, and it flips over the sign to closed again. You didn't see anything, though. And with that, and that strange little hurting burning sensation in and around your body, Ray. You guys are more or less equipped. You can still enhance yourselves tomorrow morning, but in that time, who knows what might happen. Some of you might die due to blood loss. Others of you might go into the tunnel system again and try your luck. Others might do bad deals with, maybe an archdevil or a archangel? Who's to say? One thing is certain, though. You're still in this town as we end the session for today.